Have you ever realized love shows up in the smallest, most unexpected ways? The alarm blasted at 6 a.m., dragging Leo from a dream where he was the star of a rock band. His air guitar skills legendary. His voice not quite off key, but reality hit hard. The sunlight peeked through the blinds and there was Mom already in the kitchen, wielding a spatula like a sword. Leo, you snooze, you lose. I'm not making breakfast twice, she snapped, flipping a pancake that somehow landed, half on the floor. Get up, boy. School doesn't wait for daydreamers. Leo groaned but swung his legs off the bed. Being a teenager meant dodging Mom's laser focus on discipline while sneaking moments of rebellion whenever possible. She had that "don't test me" look down to an art. Why are you always yelling? The pancakes will hear you and run away. Leo joked, rubbing the sleep from his eyes. Mom cracked a half smile. If they did, I'd eat the alarm clock instead. Now eat up. You've got a math test today. Leo grumbled but shuffled to the table, grabbing a slightly soggy pancake. One day, I'm gonna teach that math test a lesson. Mom laughed up, rare sound that lit up her tired face. She was the kind of mom who worked 2 jobs, kept the house running, and somehow never missed a chance to remind Leo that success is a habit. Tough love wasn't just a phrase. Right. It was her life's motto. Across town, things were quieter. Anna was curled up on the couch with a book, while her dad, Mark, fixed the leaky kitchen faucet. His hands were steady but worn, evidence of years working as a mechanic. He wasn't much for words, but action spoke loudest. Dad, you're gonna flood the kitchen, Anna teased. Mark grunted, tightening a stubborn bolt. Better than flooding your head with nonsense. Anna rolled her eyes but smiled. This was their way of showing care no mushy stuff. Just the simple fact that he'd fix things around the house without a fuss. Mark's love language was a toolbox. Back at Leo's house, breakfast ended with the usual pep talk. Mom pulled him aside. Serious now. Look, I know I'm tough, but it's because I want you to have options. I didn't have any, Leo. You can change your story. Leo looked up, his eyes softer now. I know, Mom. Thanks for always pushing me. She squeezed his shoulder, then softened. Just don't push me to join your band. I'm tone deaf. Grinned. Deal. Later that day, Anna sat in class thinking about her dad. She missed the days when he'd take her fishing or teach her how to change a tire. But lately, he was quieter, wrapped up in work and his own worries. Her phone buzzed. Text from Mark. Dinner's on me tonight. No complaints. Anna smiled. It wasn't much, but it was enough. The next morning, Leo's mom was up before the sun again, the soft hum of the coffee maker filling the kitchen. She had a habit of waking early, not because she loved mornings, but because it was the only time she could steal to herself before the chaos began. That evening, the two families were worlds apart but shared a similar rhythm, love expressed in different ways. Leo's mom checked his homework with fierce pride, and Anna's dad silently passed her the plate of spaghetti he made just right. Neither family was perfect. They fought, misunderstood, and sometimes hurt each other without meaning to, but underneath, the noise and the silence was a steady pulse love. Leo shuffled in, still half asleep, grabbing a mug without looking. You know, she said, watching him, when I was your age, I wanted to be a teacher. Thought I could make a difference? Leo blinked. Really, you? She nodded, her smile bittersweet. Yeah, but life had other plans. I had you, and that meant no more dream jobs. Just hard work. Leo felt a pang he couldn't explain. You never told me that? Because I didn't want you to carry my regrets. I want you to have the dreams I never chased. For a moment, the stubborn teenage Leo kept around himself softened. I want to make you proud. You already do, she said, reaching out and squeezing his hand. Meanwhile, Anna was sitting on the porch, scrolling through old photos on her phone. Pictures of her and her dad fishing, smiling, living simpler days. A sudden knock startled her. Her mom was there, hesitant. Anna, can we talk? Anna nodded slowly, sensing the weight in her mom's voice. I know it's been hard. Your dad's not the easiest person to understand. Kayla, but he loves you in his own way. Sometimes people don't show love like we want, but it's still there. Anna looked down. I just wish he'd say it, or ask me about my day without looking so tired. Her mom smiled gently. He's not perfect. None of us are. But love isn't just words. Sometimes it's the little things: fixing a sink, making dinner, showing up. Anna wiped a tear, realizing how much she wanted to believe that. Despite the silence after that tough conversation, things didn't instantly get better, but something shifted. Mom started making small changes, showing she cared in quiet ways, like leaving a note in my lunchbox or asking about my day without rushing off. It wasn't perfect, but it was progress. Dad and I also had our moments. One afternoon, he showed up at my school unexpectedly just to watch me play basketball. He wasn't the best player, but he cheered like I'd just won the championship. That day, I realized he was trying in his own way. We began having real talks, not just about problems, but about dreams, mistakes, and forgiveness. Mom admitted she was scared she wasn't enough. Dad shared how he worried about messing up. I told them how lonely I felt. It wasn't easy, and some days were harder than others. But slowly, our family started feeling like a team again. Not because everything was fixed, but because we were trying together. We didn't become perfect overnight, but we learned to listen more and judge less. Mom found help for her struggles, and Dad started showing up not just physically, but emotionally, too. I stopped feeling like the middle of their battles and more like their son. With time, the tension eased. Mom's smile grew more genuine, and Dad started joining family dinners without excuses. I began to see them not just as parents fighting their own battles, but as people trying their best. School got easier because I wasn't carrying their problems alone anymore. I even started helping mom with her therapy exercises and chatting with dad about his day. It felt strange, but good, like we were healing together. The toughest part was forgiving. But once I did, everything slowly fell into place. We weren't just surviving anymore, we were living. Little moments laughing at bad jokes, sharing meals, or just sitting quietly became the glue holding us together. It wasn't about fixing the past, but building a future where we all felt safe and loved. That's when I realized family isn't about being flawless. It's about sticking together through the mess. With time, the tension eased. Mom's smile grew more genuine, and Dad started joining family dinners without excuses. I began to see them not just as parents fighting their own battles, but as people trying their best. School got easier because I wasn't carrying their problems alone anymore. I even started helping Mom with her therapy exercises and chatting with Dad about his day. It felt strange but good, like we were healing together. The toughest part was forgiving, but once I did, everything slowly fell into place. We weren't just surviving anymore, we were living. Looking back, all the pain and struggles were chapters in our story, not the whole book. Mom and Dad learned to listen, to lean on each other, and to love in new ways. And I grew up understanding that family isn't perfect, but it's where healing begins. Now, when I see them laughing together, I know we made it through the hardest storms. Our scars remind us of how strong we are, and that sometimes love means fighting through the chaos to find peace. Because at the end of the day, family is the greatest blessing we can ever have. Mom has always been this incredible mix of tough, love, and soft hugs. I remember when I was a kid, she was the queen of get up and try again. Her pep talks could put any motivational speaker to shame. You're stronger than you think, she'd say, while fixing a crooked school project. Or wiping tears after a fight. Dad, he's a different story. Quiet, steady, the kind of guy who doesn't say much but shows up when it matters. Growing up, I thought his hugs were like rare treasures, few and far between, but worth waiting for. He wasn't the say, I love you every day type. But his actions spoke louder. Our family wasn't perfect, far from it. There were fights over little things, silence that lasted days, and moments when I wondered if we'd ever be okay. Sometimes I felt like I was carrying the weight of their expectations while they carried their own fears. But the best part, we never gave up. We started talking, really talking about our feelings, our mistakes, and our hopes. We learned that it's okay to be vulnerable, to ask for help, and to say sorry. Love isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. Family means showing up not just in the good times, but when things get ugly, mistakes don't define us. How we bounce back does sometimes. The toughest battles bring the greatest blessings. And finally, laughter is the glue that holds even the most broken hearts together. He worked late nights, missed birthdays, and sometimes got frustrated, mostly with himself. But when I got into trouble or needed advice, he was right there. No drama, just calm. So here's to the messy, beautiful, imperfect families. Closing thought. Remember, family isn't about perfection. It's about heart. It's about fighting for each other even when you're exhausted. It's about those little moments, the hugs, the jokes, the apologies that build something unbreakable. And that's the greatest blessing anyone could ask for.